Rightio. Okay, hello. Welcome to another Australian Collectors Chat. Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, Ryan. Nice to be here again. How was your week?
Yes, not too bad, thanks. Yes, it's been pretty good for the most part. I've been up to do stuff, obviously, like I said before, career expos and working on that joyful stuff. But then I got a cold at the end of the week, so that topped it off nicely. It really did. And yeah, I got a few. I was up in Perth actually yesterday for that expo thing I was going to. Me and my friends had a look around in the city, and we picked up a few cool stuff. I was going to pick up a comic, but then I went into the comic book store, and it was like a comic I could get from the comic book store I go to for about $30. It was there for like $46. So I was like,
no, won't be doing that.
No, won't be doing that. I don't care how. And then my mate's like, oh well, they've got tons of copies. I'm like, yeah, and we know why, because they're robbing bastards. So
Yes.
we'll be buying off those motherfuckers anytime soon. They can get fucked, you know. Who the hell thought? Oh, I'll tell you what. Then we'll just make it. We'll make Batman Dark Victory $46. You know.
Wow, that's yeah. Might be doing that again. Should be going back there.
Yeah. I think when I
give them a big miss.
Oh yeah, this is bullshit. And I'll tell you what happened throughout the week. Got a few things have happened, but trying to grab it without destroying everything. Bloody hell! Here we go. Ooh. There we go. So first up, I grabbed a brand new game this week, Uncharted 4.
Oh yes, very nice.
All I can say is absolutely brilliant. The best graphics on a video game you will ever see. Is right. It's literally what playing this game, Rob, is like watching a CGI movie. It is unbelievable. The facial animation in it is just second to none, and it's on PlayStation, so it makes sense why the PlayStation is known for constantly pushing the boundaries in graphics, and they are the clear superior system, especially to Xbox. That's why I left Xbox. I originally had an Xbox 360, and then when it came to the next generation, people were like, "Oh, well, you could either buy a PC to bridge you over into that time, or you could wait a little bit longer and see if the next gen consoles are more powerful." I had the sense to wait and got a PS4. Not only is it pissing on most PC graphics right now, the PlayStation 4 is definitely pissing on the Xbox, and this game. Proof and evidence of it. Like, this is the best looking game I have ever seen, and I highly recommend, if you get the chance, Rob, if you have a PlayStation 4, definitely grab it.
I don't, unfortunately. I'm a bit of a non-gamer, just due to family commitments and other things. It's sort of, I don't know where I'd find the time to put it in, to be honest with you. So I don't know. Maybe I live in the dark ages, but no. I just have my PC and that's it, unfortunately. Yeah. Maybe when the kids are a little bit older, they'll probably bug me enough to get whatever, I don't know, whatever version of whatever console is the king of consoles at that time, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
One thing I can say is the king console right now is the PlayStation 4. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll take your word for it. I'll have to take your word for it.
Well, my friend spent a few $1,000s on a gaming PC, and his gaming PC can't even run games at the lowest settings that PlayStation plays off at max settings. So that's what's kind of so. And PC and all the whole master race crap is just crap. It's nothing. You could spend $3,000 on a PC, and your $400, $500 PS4 will do what that does for gaming anyway, and graphics and stuff like that. So. Yeah, definitely best graphics on PlayStation 4, and that's best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. And also beautifully written story. Voice acting is brilliant. Nolan North is awesome as Nathan Drake again. We also get Troy Baker as well, who plays his brother in it, which is cool. And it is a really well. Not only does it look like a movie, like that realistic, it plays like one. The story's there, and it keeps you engaged. And I've not finished it yet, which says a lot, because usually games you're done and dusted within fucking 5 minutes. And I'm still playing the story, first playthrough of the story, and there's a multiplayer to it as well, which I haven't tried yet, but I will definitely try when I get the chance. So that's one I highly recommend anybody.
Nice pickup. Nice way to begin.
Yeah, and then when I was up on the weekends up there, as you know, I've been hunting down a lot of animated stuff at the moment, animated films. Yeah. And so I managed to nab one that I've been wanting to grab for a little while, and that is Flashpoint Paradox.
Nice.
So I'm very happy about that. Very glad I grabbed it. And also, it came with buy one get one free, so I got a 89 Batman 99 on Blu-ray. So that was great.
I've got a little stack of that buy one get one free myself, right in front of me here. So,
beautiful.
I might talk about some of those a bit later.
Yeah.
It was a nice little deal KB Hi-Fi had going on, or still have going on. If anyone's out there watching it, they don't know, the Australian retailer JB Hi-Fi are having a 2-for-1, buy one get one free sale on their Blu-rays. And I mean, obviously all the, maybe not in your part of the world, the brick and mortar stores are probably still open over there, Ryan, where you're in Perth, but you can jump on the website still and pick yourself up a bargain. There are plenty of bargains to be had, so yeah, I spent a little bit of money there myself this week.
Yeah, and then so I got them, and then on top of that, my friend managed to get me the episodes of Gotham finally, season 2. Nice. Finally got them. And I've watched the first half of the season already. The first half of the second season already, and that's 11 episodes. I've been like doing 3 a night. It's just been, full on binge watching. And I tell you what, it was worth the wait. It really was. I loved season 1, but season 2 is like another level. And I love all the acting in it. I love Ben McKenzie as James Gordon. I still think he's a brilliant young Jim Gordon. One thing I'm really impressed with this season is, I don't know if you've seen any promo footage or anything, but of the kid that plays Bruce Wayne, David Mazouz, I think he's
I've only seen bits and pieces of it, shorts and things like that, and little snippets I've caught here and there.
Well, I'll tell you what, this kid, he's like only just turned 15. He's like a small kid. You look at him, he's about 5'5", something like that now. He's shot up quite a bit recently, so he's about 5'5", maybe pushing 5'6". But he's small, this kid, when you saw him at the start of the season, he's grown up a little bit now. You can definitely tell he's changing a bit, but my God, for a kid at his age, can he display emotions really well? And that was one thing that got me, because most child actors, I mean, there are ones, but there are some that you just kind of you can tell, you're a child actor, there's a difference. But this kid, he really, for a kid of his age, and that's the bit that I have to take into consideration, is he's like 50, he's only just turned 15. He's just a kid in his high school, and he's displaying emotions that most kids at that age probably wouldn't have a clue how to do it. So he's great. And then another kid in the show, which is great, is her who plays Selena Kyle. She's great in it as well. She looks like a young, I still say it now, she's like a young Michelle Pfeiffer. It's uncanny how just type in Gotham Selena Kyle on a picture, you'll look at it and go, whoa.
Yeah, I have seen her before again in promos and B-roll stuff and whatever else have you. So the picture does come to my mind.
Yeah, it's incredible, and like I say, Penguin in it. I love the Robin Lord Taylor's take on Penguin and all that. They were great, and everything for the most part it's great. I've had no complaints really so far. It's been a great season. And it's just nice to be able to finally watch it. Have it actually in Australia, but now at least I've managed to have that opportunity to watch it. And like I said, as someone who's a Batman fan, an old man Batman fan, veteran, you know, it's a nice take. I mean, some people got butthurt in the first season because it was like, oh, Batman's not in it, but to be honest, it just shows you how Batman's universe is, this show, because even though he's not in it, he's Bruce Wayne as a kid, but his main focus is Jim Gordon, obviously. It shows that the side characters of Gotham are that interesting that it's still interesting. Like I said, you know, it still makes it fun, still got that dark, gritty tone. It's a lot more violent this season, I've picked up. There's like people getting burnt alive, heads cut off, the whole bloody lot. And through the mid-finale, Gordon takes sort of a dark turn. He has to break some of his morals in order to do something, which I won't spoil just in case anybody is watching this that hasn't watched it and just waiting. So just on the off chance, and if you ever do check it out, Rob, as well, some time down the line in the future.
Yeah, well, it'll be, like I said last week, if I do, it'll be when it's finished, and I'll get a whole, you know, box set of the whole thing and just run through it from go to woe. That's the way I watch my television now.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's great. I've enjoyed it, and yeah, just no complaints. And like I said, I'm not a big TV watcher as a general rule. I don't, and it's not because I hate TV. It's just I never really have the time or patience, especially waiting for episodes. It's like a comic book. You got these people that read in the store. And they said to me, "You always buy graphic novels. You seem to wait. Most people can't wait to get the singular issue." And I said to them, "Look, I ain't got the fucking. Well, I've got patience, but I just can't buy one singular issue and then miss out on one and then have to track it down and then all that crap. No, I will buy it all at once so I can read it all at once. I don't want to." Because a lot of them as well, the chapters, when you read them as chapters, you think, as a singular issue, you'd be pissed because it solves nothing. You just sort of like, oh my God, just as it gets going, it sort of ends, and then you got to wait for the next issue. So it's a similar thing with TV shows for me. I'm like you, Blu-ray, buy it on a Blu-ray, buy the first season or any season on Blu-ray, watch it through, and happy. Gotham obviously on season.
Way to go.
Yeah, and Gotham Season 1's on Blu-ray. I haven't bought it because we did have Netflix, and I watched the rest on Netflix. But Season 2, obviously, hasn't been out in Australia because Australian TV is, for lack of a better word, wank. Not very good at all. It's fucking MasterChef, all that bollocks. So I've had to just sort of wait, and my friend, he managed to get a hold of it for me, and yeah, enjoying it. Like I said, up to episode 11. I've got 19 episodes so far because the rest haven't been released in America yet. Anyway, well, I think it's up to 20 or the 21 this Monday, so it's coming to the end, and it's 22 episodes all up per season, so it's almost over. That's how long really I haven't. I've been out of the loop. The children have been conceived and born in the time that it's
yes.
On season 2, so it's about time. And also I was speaking to our friend Mark Rivera, and I was saying to him how much I'm enjoying it, and I totally agree. Mark's views and opinions on that show were on point and bang on. I totally agree with everything he's saying about it, and it's a very good show. It's like I say, it's very good. People, because it's Batman, it's naturally people are going to be overly critical of it. Oh, well, Batman wouldn't do that. Well, it's like, well, guess what? He's not fucking Batman yet. So shut up, And Jim Gordon did this in the comics. I'm like, well, yeah, that Jim Gordon did, but what's this Jim Gordon going to do? I mean, it's like, if you want to be thingy here, people get nitpicky about films and TV shows, right? I've I'm up to date in the latest Batman series, which is the storyline from like Court of the Owls and Death of a Family and that.
Mhm.
And the latest like one is it's good. I enjoyed it, but just thinking about the premise, and I'm going to tell you this now, is basically Batman has somehow, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but has lost his memory and
Yeah.
he's dead, but he actually is alive. And then Jim Gordon ends up by the government. Because Batman's been gone, they feel that people still need a Batman. So what they do is the government and the police actually create their own, and Jim Gordon becomes Batman basically for a while. So again, that's to completely just turns everything you know upside down and throws you in a completely different world. But it was a cool take. I'm open. Like I say, I'm a person that's more open than most people.
That's it. It's all interpretation, isn't it? And
It is.
Batman, Superman, they've all been interpreted so many different ways. If you don't like it, then don't go with it, and
That's
go
it.
back to the interpretation that you favour. It's pretty simple.
And that's it. I think that's again, like I said, with like films like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. I think people have mistaking quality for what they want, if you know what I mean. Like the quality of the films, I'd say, are more or less there. Well, I believe they're there anyway. They're good quality films. It's just if you can grasp your head around a different take or a different perspective of the characters. And if you can do it in a comic, then I don't see why you can't do it in a film.
That's two things, isn't it? You've got obviously your production value, which, obviously those films, the production value on them is very high because they threw money at it. But again, it's what does the audience member bring to the table in terms of watching that film? Are they open to a different interpretation than they're used to? Do they want to see a different interpretation, or do they want something that they're more comfortable with? That's that's really what it is all about at the end of the day. You can have the best production design and best production you can put together that money can buy, but if the audience member isn't gelling or isn't on the same wavelength as the filmmaker in terms of the way the material gets presented, well, all the special effects and all the great production design in the world is all going to count for absolutely naught at the end of the day. Speaking of films of great production design and having gobs of money thrown at them, it was the birthday of George Lucas through the week.
Yeah, we are.
Again,
hey, George.
Mark Rivera again, the little post that he put online in regards to that. He's 72 this year, so happy birthday, George. I know he'll be watching for sure. But the prequels are a good example, aren't they? Oodles and oodles of money thrown at them and great production design and the best that money could buy at the time, but they weren't perhaps as well received or received in the way that maybe the creator wanted them to be received.
I think
the creator moves in a direction that the audience didn't move in. Whereas when he created the first Star Wars film, he as the creator was in total synergy with the audience he was making the product for. Or I'm going to borrow the term he used in Phantom Menace. He, the creator, was in a symbiotic relationship with the audience when he made the first one way back in 1977, and that relationship had gone different ways by the time he got down to making the Phantom Menace. But it's all fun and games.
I think with something like Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, it's not, like I said, it's not necessarily a quality of storytelling. I think those films are more. Do you know the best example I could give is something like Blade Runner. Blade Runner, when it was first released, was very dark. It was very the atmosphere was there, and it's one of those films as well where you have to be in the mood to watch it. You know what I mean? It's not a film you just go, hey. Like if you're suicidal, it's not a film I would recommend. You know, it's not. You just don't. I think personally for me, and a few people have agreed with what I've said, and I've spoke about it in public before, and I think it's a film that not everyone likes, but I think in years to come it'll be more appreciated for what it's done, for the different styles. Like I still stand by my words. It's the best Batman we've ever seen. And the best story told by him, and I think, and I know you'll feel differently about this one because that's, and again, it's entirely subjective. But I feel that Henry Cavill, for me, is the best Superman, and also just the way they've told his story and this new from Man of Steel onto Batman v Superman. I feel that is the best story told personally. And that's, again, that depends on, the people will agree with me and the people that won't, obviously, but that's how I feel. Whereas, and then we'll jump to the prequels and we'll go, Phantom Menace, no matter how, what way you look at it, it's dog shit. You know,
unfortunately. That's a space I will agree with you in, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but I think it's one of the, or it is, in my opinion, the worst big budget film perhaps made in the last 50 years. That's a pretty big call because there are some pretty shitty big budget movies out there. But the reason I say it is, unlike most Hollywood productions, where the filmmaker doesn't have the total say and doesn't have much in the way of creative control. Lucas had 20 years to write the script. He had full creative control over the film. He could have literally filmed a pile of dog poo and put it on the screen for 2 hours if he wanted to, and just call it Star Wars Episode 1. He had more in the way of resources. I mean, he owned at the time the Lucasfilm, the mini major studio. That's the kind of resources that filmmakers dream about having, and for him to have that kind of opportunity, that all that time, all those resources, full creative control to turn out such a poor film is, it's very, very sad.
I think that's
probably the best way. So it's very sad that he had that kind of opportunity and he blew it in a big way.
And I think that's it. I think I hope, like, if you get where I'm coming from, Batman v Superman's more a perspective, and Man of Steel as well. It's a perspective of what you see. So there's two sides. Where Phantom Menace, you don't really hear anybody go, well, that was a misunderstood masterpiece or a misunderstood movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
two completely different scenarios.
Well, I don't know. If you go on some Star Wars forums, I'm sure you'd find a couple of people that would perhaps argue that it's a misunderstood classic of some sort. Who knows? I'm sure you'd find them though. Plenty of Star Wars folks out there, fans that I think would defend the film pretty strongly. But no, again, I'd consider it a pretty poor film from that perspective of him having this great opportunity and having all of those resources at his fingertips and not being able to produce something even half decent as far as I'm concerned. It's such a poor film, which is really, it's like I said, it's sad. It's sad to think that the guy who made the original and made American Graffiti and made THX 1138, I don't know if you've seen his original his first feature, for the guy to have made, the guy who made those three films, then to make the Phantom Menace. I mean, it really, what it illustrates is how much the man changed between you know, the making of those films, and when he got around to doing The Phantom Menace. And probably the other lesson to take from it is don't wait 20 years between directing films because you're going to get very, very rusty. And I think, again, that sort of comes through in that film. He was very, 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 very rusty when he came to make Phantom. Now, I wish Lucas had gone off and made a small film before he'd made The Phantom Menace, something character-based like American Graffiti, just no special effects, just people, characters, you know, a bit of warmth and humanity before he tackled this big thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy, I think, when you're tackling this big thing to lose sight of the humanity of your characters. You know, having to deal with all the ins and outs of the, you know, production and effects and all the technical side of the film, which, I mean, he's always talked about, you know, that you know, those films being films that require basically two directors, one to oversee the shoot and the acting side of it, and one to oversee the behind the scenes stuff that's going on. But anyway, it is what it is, and it's never going to change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the people that, not a fan of Phantom Menace, but Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith I quite like, especially being growing up in that sort of time. They have that influence, but to be honest, the more I watch, especially Revenge of the Sith, the better it gets over time.
Yeah, I agree with you in part. I think he got better. I think the films do get better as they go along, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that he was getting back into his groove. And yeah, I agree. I think Revenge of the Sith is the best of the three. That's the one, you know, out of the three. That's the one I generally return to if I ever watch them. And yeah, it's still not a perfect film by any means, but of those three, it's definitely the best. And you know, I think Revenge of the Sith is, well, it's not perfect, it's eminently watchable. You know, it's like I toss it up with sort of Return of the Jedi. That sort of, you know, they sort of, for me, if I ever get round to ranking the films, I always sort of, you know, go back and forwards on Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi, which is, you know, Return of the Jedi is a film that has issues as well, but, you know, again, is eminently watchable, just like Revenge of the Sith.
Well, that's it, you know. I mean, like I say, I tend to not, when I go into a movie, if I hear one thing or another, I generally don't go in with any expectation of it to be terrible or the expectation of it to be amazing, if you know what I mean. Like, I go in with a very neutral, down the middle, just level-headed expectation. Like, you know, well, I'm going to see whether this is good or bad or not, because then if you get yourself too hyped, you know what I mean, you're bound to disappoint yourself, and then there's the other side of it as well. So it's like a lot of films. It's like a film that I know you don't like the film, and I'm not saying I love the film. That's not what I'm saying. It's like Terminator Genesis, right? I spent on the other day on Foxtel. My dad watched it as well, and he watched it with me, and he's constantly, oh, it's gonna be shit, it's gonna be shit. And then I said, just watch it. And he came basically to the same conclusion as me in the end. It's a watchable film, but it's not as good as the original two, especially the original two.
Yeah.
That's as far as I go. It's not the worst film ever made. I would never go as far as to say that, because I have seen a lot worse. There's some good things to take from it. And also, if you take what you already know about Terminator and throw it out the window and just watch it as a what-if story, it's actually kind of cool in the sense, like, the whole, you know, like, going back in time and the Sorry?
Yeah, the way it loops back on itself, goes back and revisits, like, you know, bits of the first one and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that, and I think it's a standalone story. I actually enjoyed it more than Salvation as a standalone, like, you know, that's not going to get a sequel to that direct film. just because of at least it had the balls to go, hey, let's fucking do this, let's just go with it. And I feel if they didn't release so much in the trailers, it probably would have been received a little bit better. But again, I'm not saying it's a perfect film. I'm not saying it's a groundbreaking film or anything like that. It's nowhere near as good as Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman, I generally feel strong about. Not because Batman's in, not because Superman's in, because I think it's a really good film in general. Very much like how I felt about Man of Steel. I feel very strongly about that film, and it just goes to show you I'm not being biased, because Superman, as I've told you in the past, is not a character I particularly care about. I generally steer away from his comics because they generally are quite boring, and I feel he's a very one-dimensional, boring character, and that's just my honest feelings. I just feel like he's boring, and that's the same, like I said, Terminator. I like Terminator. I walked into this film very I don't know how it's going to be. I actually walked out very happy with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I was happy with it enough. You know, it was like happy enough. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's not as bad as everyone's saying it is.
Everyone has films like that they enjoy, that perhaps a lot of other people don't. I mean, one film that everyone seems to sort of, we'll talk about one of his films a little later, but Tim Burton, Beetlejuice, Batman, etc., etc. One film that everyone seems to hate that he made, that I really, really, really enjoy, and I enjoy it more every time I see it, is Mars Attacks. I think that film it's based on the Topps cards. I don't know if you might not have seen it for a long time. Aliens come from Mars, and they basically it's like a spoof of the 50s. Invasion Earth type of UFOs invade Earth kind of thing, but it came out at the same time as Independence Day, like literally a few months after Independence Day. And Independence Day was this massive, it was a big hit film, and everyone went bonkers for it. I thought Independence Day at the time was pretty crappy. I still think it's pretty crappy. It's got nice production design, but the story is it's a rehash of obviously War of the Worlds, and it's just it's terrible. I don't like it that much, to be honest. It's got nice production design though, some nice visuals ripped off from Arthur C. Clarke's Child's End, that kind of stuff. Anyway, Mars Attacks comes out a couple of months later, tonally very different. It's a spoof. It's a spoof. It's a parody. And it bombed. It was a total bomb. But I don't own Independence Day. I do own Mars Attacks, and every time I watch it, I find they're funnier and funnier. I love it. I think it's really, really good. Really, I love it. But a lot of people hate it. They loathe it. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it right here, just to prove where I'm.
Yeah, I see this.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Mars Attacks.
Oh.
There they are. Really, it's sort of very spoofy, but I love it. Lots of fun to be had in that. Again, a film that was misunderstood, and it was sold. I think it was Fox who released it. They, because of the success of, I could be mistaken there, I don't think it was Fox. Anyway, they tried to play it off the back of the success of Independence Day and play it as a, alien invasion sci-fi flick, which it's not. And of course, when people went and watched it and saw that it was something very, very different to what they would been selling the film as, that's when it all sort of went pear-shaped, and unfortunately didn't work out either him or the studio. But I like it.
I think that's again, like I said, Batman v Superman for me, and Man of Steel. I think they're very misunderstood films. We're going with an expectation and come out with another. And again, like you just said, expectation is again, what can do it? I mean, the biggest ballsy thing you can do ever is have a Superman that isn't happy all the time, and he's not exactly a miserable bastard. He's still got light in him, but he's told in a more mature tone from the Richard Donner. But then you've also got a Batman that's at the other end of his at the different end of the spectrum. This one's messed up in the head. He's already lost people, and he has no problem taking you out if he has to. And
yeah,
that some people, especially coming running off the back of Christopher Nolan's films, that's going to be a shock to the system, because I guess that's all the Batman they know. Some of them don't even know who the fuck Michael Keaton is. You know, who the fuck's that? I've heard people go, Michael Keaton's Batman is like shit and it's campy. I'm like, fuck off, campy, get out of here. And again, Michael Keaton's Batman.
Well, it's like people watch, the generations now watch the original Star Wars, the first one, and the comment that they usually say is, it's really slow. It's a really, like to them, it's a slow film. And fuck, I think it's one of the best edited and most beautifully paced films ever constructed. It is, it's a masterclass in editing, that film, an absolute fucking masterclass. Slow, Jesus, I don't know. Maybe that's got something to do with like attention spans and things like that.
Again, that's again what I feel like with Batman v Superman. And as you know, I love it. I'm getting all the collectables, so I love the film to pieces. And again, it's I think the problem is with these days is marketing. Marketing is one thing, and it comes out, and sometimes that can make or break a film. Now, Batman v Superman has action, and it has some kick-ass action scenes, and I think me and you can both agree that Batman scene in her house is something to be remembered. Like, it's something like, yes, that's Batman. You know what I mean? Like that bit where he's running around, kicking the shit out of everyone. That had me in awe. Like, I was like, this is fucking Batman.
Yes, it's very good.
I
think that's what people have been longing to see for a long time.
Yeah, and again, the film, like, people were selling it as who will win, and I had a feeling, being someone who has watched Man of Steel and knows Zack Snyder and knows the writers as well who worked on, like, knows what their sort of writing style is like. I knew this film wasn't going to be this just smash, because it's not going to work. There's got to be a reason for these two iconic characters to fight, or even be sort of, versus. And it told the story of why it is and their perspectives, and it wasn't just action packed for the sake of action packed. It was story based. And again, Civil War, even though Civil War has still got a good, decent story in there. I don't know if you've seen that yet. But I feel that Civil War is more of a film where you can still take your kids, and there's pretty things happening on the screen for them, like, ooh, pretty Spider-Man, and stuff like that. But if we'll be honest with you,
Disney movie, at the end of the day, it's a Disney movie, so
yeah, and
they're going to play to their customers, aren't they? And their customers are generally part of the younger set.
But honestly, if I was totally honest with you, if you asked me what film did I enjoy more, did I enjoy Civil War or Batman v Superman? And this is not because of the characters, it's just, as a film, I enjoyed Batman v Superman more. That's just me personally. And I felt, my strong reasons for that is the confrontation in Batman v Superman felt very intense. Like, there was, again, we talk about that point in the film where it changes. It's quite a strong scene, and it took that sort of strong scene to sort of break them and sort of break the ice, you know what I mean? Whereas Civil War, there's a conflict and there's a differing opinions, and I guess at the end of the day they are friends, but there was the odd occasion, Only the odd occasion. Again, I love the film. I don't hate the film. I don't think it's a crap film, but I felt that the intensity, like saying Batman v Superman, between the two of them is there, whereas. So I don't know. You never felt fully in Civil War like they were, because to turn on your best friend, right, and fight them, you've got to feel very fucking strong about it, haven't you? I mean, come on. I mean, like turning on your best friend and be like, boom, you know, fight to the death and all that. And sometimes, and I think when you watch it, you may think the same. I don't know. But I don't know if it's the quips and the jokes that they throw in there on occasions. It just didn't feel like the stakes were there. That they weren't taking it serious. And I guess that's a Marvel thing. But that was one thing I did take from the film. I was kind of like, I don't know. And then there was some really intense scenes in Civil War for sure. I'm not saying there isn't. But like I said, maybe it's the tone. Maybe it is the tone of Batman v Superman that suits better to me. But there was something nice about it, and also I kind of like the fact, with again what people missed in Batman v Superman, because everybody, even if you don't read comics, there's always these idiots that, oh, because he's Batman and he's badass because he's Batman and this, that, and the other, and Batman never does this. Batman's never wrong. Batman's never makes a mistake. No, Batman's never this. And it was nice to see Batman be wrong, if you get what I'm saying. There's something refreshing about seeing the character at his lowest point instead of always being at his highest point. Because again, it goes back to my thing about Superman. Superman is supposed to be, as you've said in the past, this idealization of what humanity wants to be. And as much as it's, I get it. I don't, there's a reason why past movies haven't done as well, and a perfect example of why people don't want that Superman anymore is like, Superman Returns. Now that film,
I don't know about that. I would argue they probably do, but I would say that the films that have been made in that style or mode just haven't been very well made. I mean, realistically, obviously Donner's first film is a classic. I regard that as almost a forgotten American classic film.
Yeah.
The second one was rife with production problems, had huge issues in terms of production. So it was never, it was basically two films made by two, or half of, one director made half of the film, one director made the other half, and they sort of smushed them together to make one film, and it's quite frankly, it's a mess, the Richard Lester version. Donner's version's better because it's plays a little bit more towards what he was going for, but still it's an unfinished film. Superman 3 is a mess. It's terrible. And again, conceptually, that film is just wrong. It was, but again, you had Richard Lester in charge of it, and Superman 4 again was conceptually not a bad. There's some good ideas there, but was a canon film that had, again, huge, massive production issues behind the scenes that led it to be this disaster of a film. And by that point, I think most people had, turned off what, certainly the film series. And Superman Returns again is a very flawed film. It gets a lot of things conceptually very wrong that needed to be done very differently, and so I think that there is room for that type of Superman to be presented, but it's unfortunately hasn't been done for a long time, and it certainly hasn't been done right since Donna got it right all those years ago. But
I think it's like, if you look at for Superman Returns, you get a Rotten Tomatoes. I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't everything, but if you go and look at the critical score for the film, it's in the high 70s, I'm pretty sure, Superman Returns, and the audience score isn't that great for it. And if I looked at it at that, I would say it was an indication. I'm not saying everybody, because I can't speak for everybody. Not everybody feels the same.
Mm.
But and I have seen people that have said the same thing as you. Yeah, it's fine. Richard Donner, Superman, do that now. I'd be all up for that. But personally, for me, I don't connect with that sort of character. And again, people talk about connecting with Batman. I mean, some people just go, again, oh, he's Batman. That's cool. I don't connect with him because of that. The reason I buy collectibles of him and stuff is because it's the fascination of him. It's the he uses gadgets. He's human, so he's not a superhero. He's a vigilante. He's
the reason people connect with Batman is you just said it, he's human, and he doesn't have special powers. He's not magic. He's not gifted a magic ring of any sort. He doesn't get bitten by radioactive spiders or blasted by gamma rays. He's not a magic character. And if you think of all the other, certainly A-list, superheroes from Marvel, DC, whoever, they all tend to be magically gifted in some way, and he's the one that isn't. Therefore, he stands out. And of course, for us, that makes him easier for us, an audience, to relate to. And he's also, again, we've talked about this before, we'll come back to the whole idea of Star Wars. Who are the most popular characters in Star Wars? Han Solo, Darth Vader. Why? Because they're the most interesting characters, because they have the most shades of grey. They're not all white, they're not all black, and Batman is the same deal. He's not all white, he's not all good, he's not all bad, which reflects the audience, that's why he's so powerful a character, in my opinion. Anyway. And
I think nowadays as well, like you just said, that you're spot on with that, and I think a lot of people miss that now. They don't have the concept of that. But there's a few examples I could pull up of it, but first one would be Batman and Superman now. People can't have the concept that they can make mistakes and people get killed in collateral damage. They can't handle that, or Batman being at his lowest point in his life and not being ahead of, not being perfect. And also, they don't like the idea that people constantly call Batman a freak in the comics and in the shows and stuff. But the idea is he is still a nut job. He's just as messed up as the people he's going after. It's just he's messed up in another way. He puts it towards good. You can still be unhinged and have good intentions. You know what I mean? It's just because you're insane.
Bad shades of grey, isn't it?
Exactly.
Everyone sort of can relate to that, can't they? In their own way. Everyone gets frustrated. Everyone gets angry. Everyone gets feels emotions like that at some point, don't they? So it's like I said, out of all of those characters, he's really easy to relate to.
That's it. And again, another character that people absolutely just tore to shreds. And it's just from a Star Wars film. And guess what? It's Kylo Ren. And another one that everybody, he's a pussy, he's an emo, he's this, he's that. No, you missed. He's not Darth Vader. Exactly. He's not meant to be fucking Darth Vader. That's the movie beats it over the head. That's not Darth Vader. It's the point. And people go, oh, well, and then all they can take from the film is, oh, well, he took off his helmet and that sucked. I'm like, but that was the point. It was to show the human side of him. It was to show him who he is. It was not. Again, and that's the problem Marvel has. Again, is they too focused on getting these big fucking steroid monsters with no charisma, no interesting thing going on with them, or no complexity, and they suck. And that's why Loki is still the best, because he wasn't the toughest, he wasn't the most intimidating, but he was interesting. He was conflicted. You know what I mean? He was again. You were drawn into his character, and that again, that's what makes it interesting. And it's like Jesse Eisenberg in Batman v Superman. People looked at him in the wrong way. If you think Zack Snyder hired him, or the team hired him for his intimidating looks, no, no one does that. No, they were quite clear. He's not that person. What's terrifying about him is his headspace. That's what's terrifying about him, the way he thinks. and also he has all that power and doesn't see consequences to it. He just does it. You know what I mean? He's like a teenage kid. He just does something and acts on it on impulse, and shit happens. And he's a freaking nut job. He's power hungry. He gets like a high off it. You know what I mean? That's what makes him interesting. Not his looks. I'm done with the whole has to look badass and all this, that, and the other. That's not what sold me on. And we know. I mean, I won't go into details just in case people overhear me that haven't seen the film. But you know what I'm talking about when I say the jury scene, like the court scene in that movie, kind of what happens in the end. That scene when that event happens was quite shocking because I didn't quite, it was one of those scenes like I didn't think he would go that far. You know what I mean? And it also showed you what value he had for human life, and showed you why he is a threat. You know what I mean? Like it was so cleverly done, and that's it. And people just, the problem is these days people just skim over films, and because we're so used to getting these cookie cutter action films with they like tick a checkbox off, it's all about just ticking boxes. They don't take a minute just to sit back and sort of analyze. I mean, I know not everyone wants to analyze a film, but just to take in what the film's trying to do. You know what I mean? Like they're looking at it from the wrong perspective. And that's, again, Batman v Superman, I feel that way. I feel Man of Steel is seen that way. I also feel, like I said, Force Awakens, there's a lot of hate for Force Awakens, believe it or not. And while it's not a perfect film, which I don't believe there is a perfect film, any film you'll pick something out of it. But everyone seems to, if you listen to critic scores and people, public online, the speds online, they all go, oh, it was cool to see Han, oh, it was cool to see Chewie, oh, it was cool to see the Millennium Falcon, oh, it was cool this, because in the previous films, yet they bitch about the similarities to the episode 4, which just really gets me. Yet what I took from the film, I didn't give a shit about any of the older stuff. I was more interested in the new shit. That was what I wanted to see. And that's what I took from the film. Kylo Ren, fucking awesome. Fucking awesome.
It's trades on nostalgia, so that's
it. And they can
trade on.
Yeah, and I again, people going about that, like you say, preying on nostalgia, and they let themselves go that way. But it's like my dad. My dad we rewatched it the other week on Blu-ray, and my dad actually enjoyed it a lot more than he did when he saw it. So he said, cracking film, loved it. But he still says the same thing. The best part of the film is the new stuff. The new stuff is the best part. It's like Han Solo. Yes, it's nice to have him. Yes, it was cool. Yes, it was sad what happened to him, and him dying and all that lot. But it was necessary to. It was quite clear. JJ's like, we're done now. We're showing you this. Now move on. Forget about it. This is it. We're done. This old Star Wars, Han Solo, gone. And also, people go, oh, well, but now it destroys any chance of Kylo Ren becoming good. And again, they missed the point. Yes, the light is pulling him, but he wants to go dark. And that point in the film is like that's it. And he's crossed that line, hasn't he? He's sort of gone, because there's no redemption in murdering your own family.
That metaphor above his head as it happens, so you don't have to be Einstein to work that out. Anyway.
And that's
I have to ask you a question then. Have you seen Excalibur yet?
No, I was.
Excalibur.
I was looking in the shops the other day, and I thought, oh, is it in here? And I had a little peek around. But I tell you what, I'll keep a promise.
I don't think it's actually out on Blu-ray in Australia. I would have bought it if it was. I don't think it is. I've got it on DVD, but I've never picked it up on Blu-ray, which is strange. I don't think you can get on Blu-ray in Australia, but you can overseas. So, yeah.
Again, like you just using the Excalibur reference to Batman v Superman, it already kind of shows the films had deeper things hidden in there that not everybody's supposed to pick up on, but there is. It's not in it.
The problem is Excalibur is not a hugely widely known film. It's a bit like when you talked about Blade Runner earlier. It's like Blade Runner. It's got a cult following, but it's not a film that if you go out and ask your mates tomorrow, 5 of your mates, have you seen Excalibur? They'll probably look at you with a big blank look on their face, going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" What is it now? It's 35 years old now, that film, and it was a reasonable hit when it came out, but it's never been one of those films that's been in the spotlight of pop culture. It's always, like I said, been like Blade Runner. It's a cult film, has a following, but never been wildly popular, I might say.
Yeah.
Let's get to some photos because it's
right. Yeah, let's jump on here.
I'll pop some photos up. We'll have a look at what we've got.
This week, so we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I've got some.
Birthday, so we got a little ramble about films and stuff, and now we're...
Yes. Well, we'll keep rambling because a lot of these are about films. Can you see that, Ryan? Let me know.
That's the King Alien, right?
That's the one. That's the King Alien. You can see who those people are: John Rosengrant, Legacy Effects, and Amilcar Fong, the conceptual artists, posing with the prototype. So, folks can get an idea of exactly how big this piece is. And again, it come up for pre-order last week, $1,000 US. So, bit rich for my blood. I think I like the piece. I think it looks really nice, but at $1,000 US, man, that's...
Rob, how do you feel? I don't want to get your thoughts on this because I was actually showing this the other day, and I looked at it instantly and went, there's a little problem here, not with the figure itself as in quality, I mean with its way it's designed. Do you think it'll have a bit of the general Grievous premium format syndrome where there's a lot will be broken in the box and things like that? Do you think that'll be the...
No, I own both the... hang on a sec, I'll show you if I can move this bloody laptop around. Let me see if I can do this without keeping it nice and smooth. There you are. You see those two right at the top? Whoop.
Yes, I do. I can see them.
Yeah, I've got the original dioramas that they put out, the Queen and the Power Loader, from many years ago, and they didn't come with any issues in terms of packaging or shipping or anything. So I don't think it's going to have too many issues. I think they'll probably work that out exactly how the thing will go together. I will say though that I sure as hell, if I ever sold those two pieces, there's no way I would want to repack them back into the styrofoam because they would be an absolute nightmare to repack, especially with that Power Loader. The Power Loader's got little rubber hoses running all over the place. It would be an absolute nightmare to repack both of those. So if I ever sold them, I'd want someone to come around and just pick them up as is. That'd be an absolute nightmare to put back into the boxes. Lots of little finicky bits. So I think it'll be fine in terms of it being packed, but I don't know, how it's going to go in terms of pricing on the thing. $1,000 US. That's pretty rich, and after we pay shipping to get it out here, that's going to be looking at sort of 1,700 Australian, something like that, 1,600 Australian. So it's probably going to be a pass for me at that price point. It's it's too rich, unfortunately.
Yeah, $1,000 is US. That's USD, isn't it?
That's US dollars, yeah.
Yeah, nah, I won't be buying that.
Let's move on then quickly. Anyway, HCG, talking about Alien. Here we are, we're still in the world of Alien. They're doing a Derelict. This is from, obviously, the first film, Ridley Scott's film. You know, this is Geiger's design. I can't remember the scale on it. It's not huge, not tiny, but they're doing the Alien Derelict ship from the first film. Yeah, so I don't know. I think people, when they saw this come up, they sort of balked at it and thought, "Oh, that looks a bit funny and doesn't look that good." But I think, you know, you consider the first film, the ship is hidden in all, you know, smoke, and it's shot in really low light, so you can't see a lot of the detail in terms of the paint apps and things. So whether it's right or wrong, I think it's hard to really say.
Yeah.
But that thing's, I think, 500 on their website.
Yeah.
I think was.
I think it'll be one of them. If you're an Alien fan, it'll probably be a must-have, like a hardcore. Yes. I mean, I'm a fan of Aliens, but I'm a bit more of a fan of the second Alien film. I think if you have the money in the spare time and buy it, then yeah, I think you would get it. Or if you were Alien only collector, then I'd say, yeah, right. Like you say, people will look at it and go, okay, I could get this, or I could get a Hot Toys Ripley, or I could get this and get a sideshow. You know, I'm just saying, like, off the top of my head, anyway. There's, you know, it's one for the people who it's like a sentimental piece or something like that, wouldn't it? You know, like.
Yeah, I agree with that. You've got to be a pretty big Alien fan to probably pick this up. It's another one that I'll be passing on. There is one more Alien piece we'll look at shortly. They also, HCG, talking about them, they put up this for pre-order, the quarter scale Edward Scissorhands piece. This is the exclusive, which is the little, this is a bust. It's like, you know, obviously if you know the film, and what goes on at the end, this is a nice bust of Vincent Price, the creator. And I did pre-order this. This came up for pre-order through the week, and I did pre-order it. HCG, thankfully, when you pre-order something with them, they don't ask for a deposit or an NRD or any kind of payment. You just pre-order it and off you go. So that's nice, because I can sit back and wait and see how it comes out. And if it turns out okay, I'll keep the order. If it doesn't, well, we'll just say la vie, and that'll be that. I'll just let it slide. But the ES on the X is 150, so it's a pretty low edition size. Yeah, no, I think it looks pretty good, actually. I mean, consider, you know, it is the proto, yes, but you know, if they turn out like that, then it'll be a keeper.
Definitely.
You know,
I like the pose, the expression on the faces there. And I quite like the base as well. It's very creative and very artsy, but great. That's it.
Talking about the base, I think it's a nice piece, and an ES of 150. You know, I imagine, you know, once this sells through in a couple of years, if it turns out well, it'll be a piece that'll go for some pretty big money, I'd say, in a couple of years. And it's a kind of piece that I don't see anyone else doing, even Sideshow. I mean, Sideshow maybe 5 years, 7, 8 years ago might have done a piece like this, but now, no, I don't see them doing a piece like this. So it's nice to be getting these sorts of, you know, very niche pieces out of companies. Good to see. And there's a bit of a better shot of the bust. So yeah, it's nice. We'll see how it turns out in, I guess, a year's time. Talking about Star Wars and Kylo Ren, here he is up for pre-order on the Sideshow sites.
USD, bloody hell.
Yeah, $570 US. For us, you can see there. Well, that's, I think, that's the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. That's what it costs to get shipped to them. So it's going to be probably pretty close to
Yeah.
That for us. So for us, you're looking at that 660, 670 US dollars for a premium format.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's...
Well, I don't know if you've heard, Rob. I don't know if you've heard, but Hot Toys have just announced that they're going to do a quarter scale Kylo Ren.
I had heard that, yes. I had heard it. I don't know any details of it, though. Can you give me anything on it?
Well, I know what it does. I haven't shown a great deal of it, but what they have said is it comes with the special thing for it is it comes with the Darth Vader charred like helmet. And
yeah.
So
very nice.
Fucking awesome. And then also, like I said, it'll be top-notch quality, and we're hopefully getting rumors as well that there could be an Adam Driver head sculpt in there, which if they got it on, which I have faith in Hot Toys, they generally 90% of the time they do. I would a lifelike, spot on Adam Driver head sculpt would be awesome for me. I would love that.
Yeah, if they do that, that would be a winner. And certainly, if they can bring it in well under $570, you'd have to go for that, wouldn't you? Even being an articulated figure. I mean, the beauty is, of course, his costume is such that you're not going to see any of those seams, are you? So it's very much a winner.
Yeah, I'll have a light up lightsaber. It'll, like you say, change its pose. It'll come with that awesome add-on as well. It'll be great, and I really am looking forward to see what they do. And also, by the way, just Hot Toys while we're here, they've also announced that they are going to be doing a old Harrison Ford from Force Awakens and a tube.
Nice. I did see that through the week as well. A little snippet, little ad.
Head
that'll be nice as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. Head sculpts, I bet you'll be awesome. So can't wait. Super stoked for that.
Speaking of Hot Toys, here she is. The Helen went up for pre-order through the week. A lot of people have been sort of griping about the head sculpt, that it's not 100% Sigourney Weaver or a young Sigourney Weaver. I don't know. It's pretty close to me.
Well, put it like this: it's not the actual likeness people have been griping about, Rob. Do you know what they've been griping about? It's the hair.
That hair?
Because it's sculpted. That's where they're getting upset over. The head sculpt, everybody's agreed pretty much across the board in the forums that it's bang on to Sigourney. But they're pissed it's not real hair. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, really?
I don't have an issue with that at all. I reckon the hair looks fine. God.
He's getting this, and he's just said the same. That head sculpt is bang on her. There's no, to say that is off is a crime, No,
what I've been reading on the forums is, people have been just a little bit unhappy about her face sculpt, but I don't know. I think you're nitpicking really, really desperately to sort of say that doesn't look like Ripley. That's Sigourney Weaver. That looks pretty to me.
They'll be just trolls probably on there having a whine. Trust me, it's very rare Hot Toys fuck up on a head sculpt. When they do, I'll address it, but over 90% of the time, and even you've agreed on this as well, Rob, they get it on point, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a winner. And considering, there's so few, true alien pieces, with a Sigourney Weaver likeness, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Moving on, it seems like we're doing Alien tonight for some reason. We seem to have gone down the Alien road. Anyway, here's another piece this is an in-hand picture of the Space Jockey sideshow maquette piece that they've done. Now this is from one of the users on Statue Forum, so props to you, whoever you are. I'm taking your photos and using them. Now they're in the public domain now, so thank you very much for that. But that's in a Besta. That's a Besta cube. So you can sort of see how big the damn thing is. There's a shot outside. Paint's a little, I'd say it's a little flat. But again, it's a piece that in the film it's photographed in really low light. I don't know how dynamic you can really make the paint on a piece like this without making it look totally different from.
It's meant to have. It's a dark look anyway, isn't it? It's supposed to have a very dusty, matte look anyway,
Yes.
like in the film. So it's like you say, there's only so much you can play with, and you know, and also like I say, seeing it in film and then seeing it in a photograph is two different things again, because film is more like seeing naturally, whereas a photograph again, like you say, you take these photos right now, it may not even look, it may be more detailed than what you're saying, because if you look up where the gun is, if you look where the head is of the engineer and then look at the gun, if you go back to the other picture, you can actually pick up more texture and details on it. So it's photograph,
probably stuff like this here, where you get this sort of bleeding of the grey and the brown, and sort of here it's I don't know, it's sort of a little bit strange, but anyway, I think it turned out reasonably well, and pardon me, it's got a pretty low ES for Sideshow. 1,500, and at $600 is, you know, considering, you know, Kylo, if we go back to Kylo, he's 570, whatever the hell he is for a premium format. I've run a mill premium format. It's not a bad price at all in areas again. You know, a lot of Alien stuff around at the moment. Oh, we had this drop as well. Sideshow announced they're doing another set of Ninja Turtles. So,
what do you think of
them? Not for me. A lot of people, they're raving over it. They love it. Not for me though. I said it before, I like those icon statues, the 6-scale ones that are based on the cartoon and the very, very early arcade game. They're the ones for me. I like that style. But I don't know, that looks a little bit too turtleish for my liking. I prefer slightly more cartoonish myself, like the Prime 1 movie version, but they'll probably be big sellers and probably have massive ESs the way Sideshow are going. They also announced this Art Germ, Stanley Lau's Pepper collection, whoever Pepper is, this lovely lass, I guess. That is, I don't know, quarter scale, 1/5, 1/6. I don't think there's been much in the way of detail given on that, but one to keep an eye on into the future. And XM, this is the Kingpin. We've looked at this concept art before. This is him 3D printed. This is how he comes out. They took some rings off his fingers, which people noticed, but essentially it's the same piece, which will, you know, I'm sure it'll turn out very, very nicely, and I'm sure it will cost a hell of a lot of money, as XM pieces do. And talking about XM, here they are having a meeting with Hive Group, which they do a bit of work with, about Star Wars. And if you look very closely on the table there, Ryan, right here,
Jar Jar, fuck yeah,
quarter scale Jar Jar. Must be coming. Look, we've got Magneto back here. We've got Wolverine. You know, Hawkeye. They will all pale into insignificance next to the quarter scale Jar Jar. I know.
Day one pre-order, Jar Jar Binks.
Absolutely.
I don't care how much it costs, it's going to get
It's got to be the first piece they put out for sure. But yeah, they will need to discuss what they were going to do with their Star Wars license. I thought, that's for you, Ryan, right there. Look at that greatness on the table.
Rob, just look at their faces. You can see how serious they're taking it as well.
Oh, yes. You can see, look, he's on this tablet here. I bet they're talking about what exactly they're going, how they're going to translate this into a 3D model.
They're watching our collectors chat right now going, right, well, Ryan really likes that money box, so we got to really up the fucking ante here. we got to get some real fucking quality here, because in the Hasbro money box has beaten us, we've failed. So.
He's seen better days, that's right. The guy's got good taste in posters as well, because this is the poster I've got. That's Star Wars poster. That's the one I've got hanging up.
I've got a 3D version of that. This is nice.
This is the XM Sentinel diorama thing that they're doing. It's back on the table.
Okay,
yeah, this has got measurements here, and I mean, you can see how enormous this thing is. I mean, it's enormous in size, and I do not want to even contemplate how much that would cost. It would be. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 Sideshow X-Men premium formats. They're all the exclusives. I'm talking about like the classics, Gambit, Rogue, all of them basically. Psylocke, the Apocalypse. I got the Sentinel as well. I reckon I'd have to sell all of them, to probably be able to afford this thing.
So,
I'm not going to do that.
Is this the one that got originally shelved a while back?
Yes. Yeah, this is the one they'd shown, I think, a little bit of it and announced it, and then it got shelved. But
and another quick question now. So each of those characters on that, are they quarter scale pieces on there?
No, they're 6 scale.
6 scale, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so a little bit smaller, but I mean, look at the size of this thing. 132 centimeters long, 100 centimeters deep. Holy Jesus, and 125 centimeters high. I mean, that's like, I would literally, the room I'm in at the moment, I'd have to probably, to display this, I'd have to gut this room, I think, or at least gut half the room to display this piece. That's ridiculous. I mean, you'd have to put it on a dining table. It's so big.
Yeah.
That's just. I think it's like. That's seriously. I think to the point of overkill in terms of size. It is so big. I don't know where people would seriously. You'd have to dedicate nearly a whole small room to displaying a piece like that. It is just so enormous, and you would have to be one dedicated X-Men collector, I think, to pick it all up. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to ship the Sentinel with, I think, Colossus here at the front, and then all these other characters you're going to have to buy them afterwards. So.
Wait and see, Rob. You'll get that prick in the forums that goes, I'm going to buy 7 of these.
Good luck. Good luck. There's another diorama or a little shot of exactly how big the thing's going to be against, a relatively average sized person. But again, it's not the positive space it takes up. It's all the negative space around it you're going to need to display it properly.
Well, that person there is 170 centimeters.
That's a small person.
That's like a 5'6", 5'6".
Yes.
That's pretty much my height.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6". I'm actually my 5'6".
Well, if you get rid of the bed in your room, you might just have enough space to display this. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So the last little thing I've got to show is this. We've been talking about Star Wars and Alien. Let's go down the Star Trek road for a sec. All over the world, I took this shot from Zavvi, which is a UK company who do steel books, but you can get them elsewhere. They're doing, for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, steelbook series of for the film releases. So you're getting all the films in steelbooks, and what's really nice is if you get all 10 here and line them up, the spines create the logo, the Starfleet logo with 50 in it, which is quite nice. So I hope that the first one here which is my favourite of all the Star Trek films. It does say down here the director's cut. Now, that's interesting because they've never remastered the director's cut for Blu-ray. When they did it, when Robert Wise was still around, they only rendered this because the thing's got a lot of new effects work in it, CG effects work, and they only rendered the effects work at, I think it was 720p or something. It was only rendered for DVD specs. It wasn't rendered for high definition. So they, like what they've done with the television series, they will have to go back and redo essentially all that effects work all over again to release a director's cut on Blu-ray, which so far it never has been. You've got the theatrical cut on Blu-ray, but not the director's cut. Hopefully that stands and we do get the director's cut. And if they do, I'll be buying certainly all the original cast films on Steelbook. I don't currently own them on Blu-ray. I have them all on DVD, but not on Blu-ray. So I'll double down and get those if the first one is the director's cut. But they look very nice. Surprisingly, I'm one of those strange people. I like the first one the most. I love the first one. I think it's, Jerry Goldsmith's score is just phenomenal. It is a phenomenal piece of work. And the other one I really, really like, here I go again against the crowd, number 5. I don't know. Call me a heretic. It's this is like the one that's most hated out of certainly the original cast's films. And it is. I mean, there was a lot of problems with that film in terms of its production, but it's got again another great Jerry Goldsmith score. And I love the ideas in the film. If they're not, they're not executed perhaps as well as they could be for lots of reasons. But I like it, and the opening especially is just it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Anyway, that's it for tonight. That's all I got, unfortunately or fortunately.
Well. I was going to say, when I was up in Perth yesterday, I managed to have a little look. I don't have any pictures, but I did manage to get some figures that haven't been really seen in person. And I managed to see the Hot Toys TIE Fighter pilot from Force Awakens and the 2 snowtroopers from it. So, and they were really nice, I must say. Looked very, very, very clean, very well made. So. Yeah, they were really nice pieces. I was surprised I was going to see them in this store because, they've not been around, people haven't got them yet. But they were really nice pieces and really am looking forward to them. But, So, nice. But on that alien piece though, Rob, I think people are getting way too touchy over the hair, to be honest.
That's a moot point, really. I don't know why people would be getting a bit antsy over that. I think it looks absolutely fine. I come from more the statue background where all the hair is sculpted, so I don't see an issue with it, really, to be honest.
Yeah, some figure collectors get a bit butthurt and say that. Well, some of them are good, and then some of them are like statue collectors as well, like where there's nothing they can do, they just fucking complain and find something to bitch about, because just for the sake of bitching, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you just go like, shut the fuck up, and I'll buy it, So, but sculpted hair, most Top Toys figures have sculpted hair anyway. And all look phenomenal.
I think I would prefer sculpted hair over the loose type of hair, which can make it look very doll-like.
That would be my preference. I only have one figure that has hair, and that's my Catwoman, and it looks great. Like the way they've done it on it actually looks pretty real. But it's always a pain putting her mask on. If you know what I mean. But it does look good on that one figure, but that doesn't apply to everything. Like there are figures where they have done them and they do look pretty wank. But that one, that Catwoman that I've got here, I've got it here. I don't know if I can show. I don't know what difference it'll make showing it to you, but
yeah.
I don't know if you can see. The hair sits very nicely on it.
Oh yeah.
So
that's okay because it's very straight.
Yeah.
But that sort of Ripley, she's got a slight sort of perm, or certainly is wavy at the very least. So that doing that with loose kind of hair, I don't know, could turn out a little bit strange anyway.
Yeah, I think that's it. Look, you're not going to win with everyone. You can't get them all, but to be honest, as long as the likeness is there, that's what matters to me most. The likeness is off, then it's pointless buying it because that's why you buy Hot Toys in the first place, for likeness. So if they can't give you a good likeness on what they promise, then it's not really worth the buy, is it? But the first thing it has to tick the box for me is likeness. If the likeness isn't there, I won't go for it. I'll wait. I saw actually the other day, this figure I've got here, this figure, the head sculpt with the cowl is bang on. If you can see,
yeah,
that's Michael Keaton through and through. But they did the Bruce Wayne Michael Keaton from Hot Toys, and I've seen it in person. It's okay. It's still not. It does not Keaton, but the mouth, the shape of the mouth on the Keaton, like the full head sculpt, is completely different to the shape of the mouth on this. Whereas this has got the proportions all correct. On that, it's like really weird. It just doesn't look like him, and it's strange because you thought they would have been able to get Keaton since they've done him like with the cowl and that. They've got like all the details of his lips and that right. You know what I mean? And then all they have to do is build on that, but obviously they just fucked up on that piece. And that's why I bought the Batman only, because at least that had a pretty much dead-on likeness. So, which is disappointing because I would have liked to have got the Keaton Bruce Wayne. That would have been nice, but I just passed on it because of the quality wasn't there, But yeah. Also, one other thing, I did pick up another game this week. You probably may be aware of it. It's a classic game called Doom.
Oh yeah. I did play that when I was younger. My God, that's ancient. Bloody hell, Ryan. It's almost as old as me.
Well,
that's old.
Yeah, they've just released the new game, so with the pre-order, I got these two lithograph prints, limited edition.
Oh, nice.
So you just crack these open. I haven't cracked open the one, but we'll have a quick look at them, mate. And
let's have a quick look, and then I'll have to wrap it up on my side.
No problem. Oh, if you can see, got that.
Oh yeah, very nice.
It's got the spaceships. So I'm thinking I'm not a massive Doom fanboy or anything like that. I just bought the game because of it, and I have played some of the original Doom in the past. It's all right. It's a Doom game. It's just your typical shoot 'em up game. But and the new game's gone back to that sort of classic shooter route. And then this one, I haven't seen this one, so it's the first time for both of us.
It's another Alien reference, isn't it? Doom. The old, the original is all, alien-like. Running through corridors and killing things.
Ooh, yeah. I got that.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
It sort of almost reminds me of the original Alien poster. With the egg.
Yeah. That's what I just thought as well. I mean, if you want the best Alien game there, Rob, and you get the chance, and you want to shit your pants, playing it. It is Alien Isolation.
Ah, yes, yes. I've heard many, many good things about it. So that'd be something I would be interested in.
It was, I tell you what, some critics liked it, some panned it because it was too hard. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But it was the graphics are stunning in the game. It looks so realistic.
Yes, I've seen people, I watch people play it, and it looks really, really nice. If you want to sort of step into the movie, that's about as close as you're going to get to doing it.
Plenty of my friends, pretty much, I'm the only person out of all my friends that actually have the balls to finish it. The rest of them were like, oh, it's shit, this is. I said, no, it's not. You just shit your pants on it, didn't you? Like, yeah, pretty much. So, it was, yeah, it's pretty funny just to watch your friends shit the pants.
Yes.
That was fed off it, eh? I was just like, this is like you say, like the original film. I was like, I'm all in for this. This is what Colonial Marines should have been. Because they did one called Colonial Marines, and that was a fucking disaster. It was one of the worst. I've never gotten to denial over a game before, and that was the first one I ever did, because I waited 6 years for that game to come out. And when it came out, oh, what a pile of shit that was. It was terrible. Absolutely. But I'm sorry, I'll go as far to say it's one of the worst games I've ever played. Horrendous, man. And it's a disgrace to the Alien name as well.
Yeah, I've heard lots of bad things about that. But let's not end on a bad note. Let's end on a high.
That's it. And yeah, so another good week again. Like I said, happy birthday to George Lucas. Thank you for Star Wars.
Yes, absolutely. We were supposed to talk about Star Wars, but we seem to get diverted into Alien reason or other. I don't know why. But anyway,
the chat today was called In a Galaxy Far, Far Away, and I guess
we did
anything in space.
And so, I guess even if you think about Force Awakens, the whole sequence when we meet Han Solo in the spaceship, and he's in that freighter and he's got those, I don't know, ball things, and the whole thing is all alien-like. It even has the rotating, safety lights and the klaxons blaring. It's so there is a nod even in Force Awakens to aliens. So yes, best of both worlds, we might say. Best of both worlds.
That's it. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, same time next week, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. I might try and do it a little bit, maybe earlier next week, if we can. We'll see how we go. But it depends on whether little people like to sleep or whether they don't like to sleep, and that's in the lap of the gods. Unfortunately, I can't make much else happen with them.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. You have a nice week then, and I'll talk to you through the week, and we'll certainly see each other next week for another go around.
Rightio. So let's say great chatting again, Rob. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all next week where we kick more ass on this chat. So
have a good one.
And you too. So see ya.
See ya.